Okay, welcome back to part two, the second and final part of this exciting video installment. I just wanted to review with you the syllabus, the assignment table, the rest of the documents for the class, and your assignments. And so first I'm going to pull up your syllabus. So the syllabus is in the introduction section of the course, as you would expect. It has my contact information. I am totally fine with you texting me. I ask that you be respectful of my time and do 9 to 9, please. If I don't respond quickly, it could be that I'm in a course. If I don't respond within 5 hours, definitely feel free to text again. I also respond fairly quickly to emails. I do my best to be available for you because I recognize that you guys are working around deadlines as well, and that you are in practicum settings. And so if you're asking a question, that might be the only 5 minutes you have for that day, because I have days and weeks like that. And again, with the course description and goals, recognize that while I was able to design the course, the goals were there before I even came into play. And so I've worked hard to make the goals accessible for you, but it's not as if I decided to eliminate an entire population of students. That's not up to me. Your required reading is Beers's 2003 When Kids Can't Read, What Teachers Can Do. And there will be short stories, novels, videos, and articles. You don't have to buy anything other than the textbook, and you could even rent that. It's not online. Well, let me rephrase that. It's not an online textbook. We're using a paper textbook. I'm sure there's a Kindle version if that's the way you like to read, but this isn't like 3420 when I really wanted you to experience what it was like to use an online textbook, because your students will be experiencing that, and I thought it was important for you to have that experience and know the pros and cons. Throughout the course, you'll be reading, of course, the textbook, articles and videos. You'll be reading some short stories that I'll provide for you and writing one-page papers applying what you've learned. So that's your basic discussion post. And then you'll develop a reading list that you can use while you're teaching, and then you'll read 2 novels and apply what you've learned. Here's this saying, please watch the video. And then here is the types of assignments you'll be doing. We've already reviewed that, and we've reviewed the points, so I won't review that again. And then there's a brief description of them, reminding you about the dates. The late policy. Most of you have had Dr. Neely, and I do follow her format. I know there'll be groans now. But if you are late, it's 10% per day for the first 2 days. After that, it's a 0, but you still need to do the work. I didn't create assignments that are worthless. They all have a purpose, and so it's important to me that you do them. And so I would hate for you to have to do an assignment that you've received a 0 on simply to pass the class. So please do your assignments in a timely fashion. Now, if you have an emergency, and we are lucky enough to know that that emergency is coming up, that emergency might be a major conflict. Let me know ahead of time before the due date. Hey, by the way, my wife is pregnant. She's due next week. I might be late with my assignment. We'll work something out. That wouldn't be called necessarily an emergency. Or if you're in a car accident, something happens, let me know as soon as possible, preferably before the due date, and we will work something out. Excuse me, I'm not unreasonable. I just like to know in advance, the same exact way you would need to notify your principal in advance if you were going to be out. You wouldn't wait till the day was over and then say, oh, wait, I didn't come in because I was in a car accident. You'd call immediately. I'm not saying I need to be your first phone call, but keep that in mind, okay? And then I just wanted to show you the assignment table. It lists the week, so week 1, week 2, week 3. It has the deadlines or the dates for the week. It tells you the topic of the core of that week's lesson, what you'll be reading or watching, what you have to do, and how many points it is worth. So you can see that generally weeks are worth 10 points. Sometimes, however, there will be a short activity and that will be worth 4 points. I tend to go straight across. The assignments don't go straight across. So these assignments should all be read or watched before you start your discussion post. If you have any questions about that, of course, put them in the question discussion post. At the bottom is your class score. So you can get up to 225 points. And it tells you how many points you need for an A minus, a B plus, etc. And then there is a rubric for your discussion posts and your responses and your activities. Pretty much what I am looking for is that you thoroughly address the task. You don't just pick part of the question and answer it, you answer the whole question. That it shows that you're using what you've read, not only your prior knowledge, and ignoring the Beers text or the article, but you can synthesize them for sure. That you use the text. It doesn't necessarily have to have an exact quote. It could be just a reference. You know, Beers talks about several strategies on pages 30 through 35. That to me is fine. That you show your ideas, and of course that it's organized, and those are your points, and the responses are the same, and so you can read through that. I'm not going to go through everything for you because you're college students. Your 7th grade class is what you'll be using. Where is my 7th grade class? Oh, I lost it. Your 7th grade class is what you'll be using for your assignments. And so let me pull that up. I'm so sorry. I thought I had that up already. You will also have this in a table format in case that is easier for you to work with. This is a PDF. You just hover over the yellow highlighted part and it tells you about the student. You will read these again in this format or in the table format, and these are the students you'll be using for your assignments. I will point out that I am not one of these students, and that these are of course all pseudonyms and none of these descriptions apply to these students. But this is actually my 7th grade class from 1979, I think. And so these are, yeah, have fun with giggling at students from 1979. And then your weekly information sheets. So I have week 3 up here. Each week there will be something that tells you what you're going to read, your input, what you're going to do, your output, what your goal is for that week, and then what your discussion posts and response should be about. And when you post in your discussion posts, group 1 would post if you read this text. If you read this text, you'd post in group 2. If you read this post, you'd post in group 3, etc. Okay. So discussion posts, the purpose will depend on the week. They should be 300 to 500 words. So that's about a page, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, but they should not just be a paragraph. If you go excessively over, if I get a 1,200 word post, you will lose points. That's not fair to your fellow students and to me, but to not follow the guidelines to that extent. If it's a 100 word post, same thing, you'll lose points. But 300 to 500 words should give you a really great window for your prompt. And then for your responses, I say approximately 150 words. Again, I'm not looking for a very short paragraph. I'm looking for something of substance, but you don't have to, create a whole paper as a response. And so unless I see that it's very, very short or very, very long, I'm not going to sit there and count the words. And then my hint and suggestion, if you know me, you know that this is really important. Please craft your discussion posts and responses in a word processing document and then cut and paste them into the discussion post. The discussion post does not save as you go. You can occasionally click save and it will disappear. It's technology. And so if you type it in a word processing post like Word or Pages and then cut and paste it, then if something happens, you've still got your post and you don't have to retype it. Please do not upload your post unless it's an activity. Just cut and paste it. Okay. You will have occasional activities that are very, very short, 5 minutes. And all you do would be to fill out the sheet that I've provided and upload it on Sunday. And that would be the time you would upload to your discussion post. They are supposed to, like I said, take 5 minutes. But they're fun little activities or annoying little activities, depending on your perspective, to just give you a chance to use some of the strategies that Beers puts out there. And then the projects will have their own module. As we begin the course, I will be posting more information about that. Like I said, you'll have a book list that you'll need to create of 10 secondary school textbook, or not textbooks, but texts that you might recommend. You'll have a midway project, and then you'll have a final project. As I've already pointed out, if you have any questions that are general, put them in the discussion post. This week, please complete the survey, and this survey is, again, a 5-minute survey just telling me how to reach you in case ELC is down, to tell me who your advisor is, what your goals for the class are. There's an introduce yourself post that has specific instructions on what I'd like you to use. I don't care if you have a picture up or not, that's up to you. You will have an actual discussion post assignment this week, and you'll have one of those 5-minute activities. So we're hitting the ground running, but none of it, I guess this discussion post might be timely, but the rest of it is not. And then I think that's it. So I know I kept that one a little above 10 minutes, and I apologize, but I hope now that you have a clear sense of what to expect from the course. I am so excited to be working with all of you, and do feel free to contact me if throughout the course when things come up. Because it is an online course, I'm not supposed to offer myself in office meetings. But if you are in Adderhall and you want to stop by and say hi, I'm in 301C on the 3rd floor. And if you can't find me, just go into the office on the 3rd floor and ask, and they'll tell you where I am. And I'll be in my office Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 9 to 5 kind of thing, and Wednesdays off and on because I have classes myself, and then Fridays probably not at all because it's time for me to start my research. All right, hey, you guys, take care. Have a great first week back. I hope that all your classes are going to be enjoyable and low stress for you, and take care.